friends, I have a terrific recipe for you today. It is my beef stew with dumplings. And oh my God, is this a hearty, delicious dish? You guys have to make it. I will have all of your ingredients listed below. So let's get started. So first, I washed my meat with a little bit of vinegar and patted it dry. Now I'm gonna cut it into cubes. You do not have to do this process if you don't want to. You can buy your beef already in cubes, but I am taking the other way around, get more meat to do it myself and have nice little chunks. And so once I get done with this, which of course you don't have to worry, we are going to season it. So I'm starting it out with some Creole seasoning. Then I'm gonna add some granulated garlic, some granulated onions, some smoked paprika, some Worcestershire sauce, some salt, and some pepper. And so I'm going to massage this into my meat next. And then guess what? We're gonna get ready to fry this a little bit in a pan, and plus it helps with my broth, so thicken it up. So I'm using a little bit of flour. I'm gonna toss it around in the flour, and then I'm going to put it in a nice pan and I'm going to brown it. Now I'm not trying to cook this until it's done, but I am going to brown it. So you guys, if you have not hit the thumbs up button by now, you need to go ahead and press that button for me. It costs you absolutely nothing. So anyway, like I said, in my pan I have some extra virgin olive oil, and I'm going to kind of fry this in batches because I don't want it to steam. I want it to get a nice little crust on it. And then I'm going to transfer it into, guess what, my crock pot. So I am definitely doing this in a crock pot, but if you don't want to do it in a crock pot, you can just continue on in your pot. So anyway, like I said, you're going to put a nice little crust on this beef. Now we're not cooking it, like I said, until it's done. We're just getting a little bit of color on it. And then, like I said, the flour on there will help thicken up the broth. So I have done all my meat. Now I've added a little bit more extra virgin olive oil, and I've added in my onion. I'm going to add a little salt and pepper to help soften that up some. And then I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables, you guys. So I'm tossing that around. Now I'm adding in the rest of the vegetables, the carrots and the celery. And so I'm going to let this cook a little bit. And the reason why I'm doing this is just so that it doesn't take quite as long in the crock pot, and it kind of all cooks around the same time. I've added in some minced garlic. I'm going to stir that around a little bit. And then my next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some tomato paste. So it actually adds a little bit of depth to the beef stew, the broth. Oh my God, it is so good. And then if you're gonna use a red wine, you would let this cook for a little bit so it can cook off some of that tomato paste. And then sometimes you can also add in there a little bit of cinnamon or a little bit of sugar to counteract if you have a problem with the acid from the tomatoes. So anyway, I've transferred everything into my crock pot. I've added in my green onions. I'm adding in some thyme. I've added in some beef broth, some beef bullion as well. And just giving it a quick stir. And I'm gonna let this cook a little bit until the meat is like tender before I add some more vegetables. So guess what? You guys are not gonna have to wait at all, because you know what? You guys got an advantage. So now that that's cooked down some, I'm gonna add in my potatoes. I'm gonna add in some peas, some frozen peas. I'm gonna add in my red bell pepper. That's the last bit of the seasoning. And I guess I tasted the broth and I added in a little bit of bouillon. I added in a lot of bouillon, actually. So I guess once you taste it, you kind of adjust your seasonings to your palate. I'm heavy on pepper, and I am definitely heavy on crushed red pepper, which I'll be adding that, or I already added that in earlier. But I forgot to tell you guys I added in the crushed red pepper. So anyway, I'm gonna let this simmer a little bit longer until my potatoes are fork tender. But you guys don't have to. In the meantime, while we're waiting for that, we're gonna go ahead and make the dumplings. Now the dumplings are made with flour, I did some beef tallow that I had made this summer when I had made my beef brisket. And if you haven't checked out that video, you should. I'm doing whole milk, chives, parsley. That's what's chopped up on the side. I have some Parmesan cheese. I have some minced garlic. I've also added that in there as well. And I'm just actually starting to mix it with my hand because I want it to all kind of be a little crumbly. And then I'll start adding in the milk a little at a time because I don't want it to be too wet. So, you know, it could easily be overdone. So I just want to do a little bit at a time until I get it to a really nice soft consistency. And I'll show you what that looks like. We're almost there. Can you see it? Where I'm getting at. So it's pretty, and I didn't have to use the full cup, it doesn't look like. So anyway, this is the texture that I went for. I'm going to cover this with some saran wrap, and then I'm going to let it hang out in the fridge until I'm ready to actually make my dumplings. So you guys, I believe I misspoke earlier. I'm just now adding the red bell pepper and the peas. I added the potatoes first because it takes longer to cook, and then I add the red bell pepper and the peas because they take less time to cook. So I do apologize for that, me speaking too soon on this matter. So 2 spoons droplets of the wonderful dumplings that I'm gonna put in there, and I'm just arranging them around the pan, you know, with a little bit of space in between because they're gonna, you know, they're gonna blow up a little bit while they're cooking. So anyway, I'm gonna cover this back and I'm gonna let this cook for about another 20 minutes probably until they are done. So here we go. But guess what, you guys, you're not gonna be waiting for anything as usual. I always take care of you guys. So here you guys, look, isn't this delicious? Look how bubbly and oh my God. I can't wait to eat it, you guys. This stuff is so delicious. You have to make it. So here is your bowl, you guys. Like I said, you don't have to wait for anything. I'm even going to taste it for you. How about that? Anyway, I want to say thank you for watching. I love reading your comments and responding. So make sure you leave me some comments. And as always, I want to say enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Don't forget to click thumbs up and subscribe so that you can get all of my new videos. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.